What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Mike, here with another video. Doing something a little bit different since I had the day off and I didn't get to meal prep last night. I'm gonna meal prep today. Just gonna actually make some turkey patties. Got a bunch of turkey. I'm gonna sit here and chit chat with you guys. Something I haven't done for a little bit. And got my turkey, got some gloves, got my seasoning set up on the side, and got my scale here, so I'm gonna weigh everything out, the whole thing. But again, I'm just gonna sit here and chit chat with you guys a little bit because I finally heard back from the school about my cap and gown. And to say your boy was a little hot yesterday is an understatement. So what happened was the library is no longer in charge of sending the information to the students for graduation. I'm not sure when they switched it over, but you know how each college has like a different college under? It's like, oh, the College of Medicine, the College of this, College of that, so on and so forth. That's pretty much how it goes down. So I'm gonna put my glove on real quick. That's pretty much how it goes down. Just my glove off a little bit. So that's how they kind of divide everything up. When I was talking to, cause I sent my counselor a message, I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. Is there anything you can tell me? Blah, 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 blah. Come to find out, she's like, oh yeah, look, we're not in charge of that anymore. Go ahead and call the bookstore. So I called the bookstore, got a hold of the manager. Yeah, so dirty hand, clean hand, meat hand, not meat hand. Just FYI, don't cross-contaminate. So I got in charge of the manager of the bookstore, and got some oregano here. And she was like, yeah, we sent the information to the separate colleges. Like we were starting to talk about graduation in December. December? Okay. She's like, yeah. And we sent the information out in like April or May. And she's like, yeah, crush your pepper flakes. Cause not like a little spicy sometimes. So, she's like, yeah, about April or May, that's when we sent out the information about graduation. They were supposed to send the information out June 6th. The day I did my presentation, that's when they were supposed to send the information out. They sent the information out a month late. So I'm like, okay, this is annoying. This is really annoying. And she's like, yeah, I know. Oh, Laurie's, aka seasoned salt. So she's like, yeah, we got Sasson. So she's like, yeah, the bookstore is gonna try to take over sending out the information for commencement again. I'm like, okay, cool. Because apparently this was an issue in May also. So how do you make the same mistake twice in the same year? Make it make sense. Oh, again, part of the angle, I just had to try to find some kind of angle to kind of get you guys propped up on. So I'm just trying to do my best right now. All right. So apparently this was an issue in May also. Garlic. So I'm like, that's crazy. So she said, so we went back and forth, how it's an issue, blah, 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 how we're gonna get this fixed, the whole thing, blah, blah, blah. So I asked her, I was like, hey, so, cause I reached out to the company that does the caps and gowns, Oak Hall, what's it? G. Hughes barbecue sauce, sugar-free, sweet and spicy, not sponsored, wish I was, but wait a second, let me turn this thing around one time though. So, 1 serving size, 2 tablespoons, calories, 10. So, very low calorie. So, G. Hughes, if y'all haven't tried G. Hughes, check out some G. Hughes. So she's like, yeah, they were supposed to, I reached out to to the Cap and Gown company, talk to them a little bit. No, still a little hot. And then talk to the manager of the library or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, so what goes on? What happens here? And she said pretty much the same thing. If, sometimes they can send the caps and gowns early depending on where you are in the queue, blah, 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 blah. But what you can do is you can go ahead and send us an email, and so we can give you the slip for a late slip to rent your cap and gown. I'm like, okay. And I asked her straight up. I'm like, do I have to pay for it to rent the cap and gown? And she said yes. Why? Why do I have to pay? And I was like, this makes no sense. Because whenever you're reading it, it's like, I'm just gonna tell you guys the numbers straight up now. So, if you just want to rent it, the day of graduation, you pick it up. You fill out the form, you pick it up. $300 to rent the cap and gown. Purchase price, $1,200. And all the caps and gowns, when you order them to purchase, they're all customized. That's why it takes so long. That's why it takes 8 weeks to create, because apparently they're doing everything by hand, then a week to ship out to you. So everything is customized. I should have took this turkey out before. My hands are freezing. I hate cold, FYI. So, yeah. So she said, I can rent one. Now, whenever you're reading the information on the school website, for when you order your cap and gown, it says you can rent it for $300, but if you don't turn it in after graduation, they're gonna charge you the rest of the price, the rest of the purchase price. They'll charge you extra $900 to purchase it. If I already paid to purchase it, why do I have to pay to rent it? You know what I mean? No, I already paid the full purchase price, and y'all messed up. So why do I have to pay for y'all mistake? I'm like, I was a little hot, to say the least. I'm like, this is straight up trash. I'm like, I have to pay. Y'all saying I got paid an extra $300 to graduate. Whenever y'all made the mistake, because y'all sent the information out a month late. That's why on the thing it says the due date was June 29th. But even with that though, even with that as the due date, I would have had a week to order it. So granted, a week can be a long time, but June 29th is 6 weeks before graduation. So I've had literally a week to order it, to have it made, shipped, and everything like that. It would have been here this week if I ordered it on time. If I ordered it by the deadline, it would still been a week, 2 weeks late. So I'm like, I understand that they sent the information out late, but why is the deadline 6 weeks before graduation when it takes 9 weeks to get to somebody? The math ain't mathing. And again, I'm not the best at math. I've never claimed to be a mathematician at all. That's not my forte. That ain't my ministry. But I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Y'all should have sent this stuff out in May, and then had the deadline 10 weeks before graduation, so people had time to get everything taken care of. Does that make sense to y'all? Or am I just going crazy? Because to me, that makes sense. Maybe I'm just going crazy. I don't know. But to me, that makes sense. So, yeah, now y'all see I'm just mixing up my turkey. Again, turkey hand, got my seasonings in here, everything. It smells pretty good. I ain't gonna front, it smells pretty good. Might have to add some more stuff, because it's yeah, I should take this way out, my hands are freezing. Should take this out, when I got home from church or something like that. But I digress. So that got me a little pissed off. And then another thing that kind of got me, in my feelings, I ain't gonna front out your boys in his feelings a little bit, especially after that, is, how many times I have to explain people what my degree is. And they're like, oh, like, so what specialty are you going into? I'm like, I'm not a medical doctor. They're like, but it's in health sciences. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not an MD. And they're like, oh, do you have your PhD then? I'm like, no. So it's weird that almost everything that I've done career-wise or school-wise, I've had to explain to people what that actually means. Which for some people it's like, oh yeah, whatever. And sometimes it's like, oh yeah, a generalized degree, that's pretty cool. You can do certain things with it, but it still is a general degree. Like my MBA is a general degree, but people know what an MBA is. Not a lot of people know what a doctorate of health sciences is. Not a lot of people know what a health coach is. You know how many times I've had to explain to people what a health coach is? I'm like, and people are like, oh, so you're a personal trainer. I'm like, technically I am a personal trainer, but that's not what I do for work. So it's like, it gets annoying. You know what I mean? It gets very annoying having to explain literally everything about your career, about school, about pretty much everything. Because even when I was doing martial arts, you know, like being like I was in martial arts before it was cool. You know, I was a nerd before it was cool. So being almost the outsider for almost everything, like career-wise, sports-wise, all these things. I'm like, people are like, oh yeah, do you watch a game? To be honest, I don't watch basketball really. I don't watch football. I don't really watch sports. I used to, you know, when I was little, but every now and then I'll watch, you know, NBA finals, watch Super Bowl, stuff like that. And I can appreciate it, but I've always been a person that preferred to play it. I'm just like, I'd rather watch other things. And being an anime nerd, like, no, that's stuff I was into. So while other people were, you know, watching basketball and watching football and stuff like this, I was doing martial arts. Again, I trained for 10 years. That was my thing. But explaining to people was like, oh yeah, it's like, I don't watch football. I don't watch basketball. This is what I do instead. People are like, why? It's like, because that's what I enjoy. When I have to explain to people, you know, what a health coach is, it gets a little annoying. It's like, no. And granted, a lot of people don't know anything about healthcare, so that's not their fault. But people are like, oh yeah, you work in a hospital, so you must be a nurse. No. They're like, oh, you work in a hospital and you have your doctorate, so you must be a doctor. No. Technically, but no. You know what I mean? And yesterday I was in my feelings a little bit because again, I'm doing a lot better now than I was yesterday, straight up. But yesterday I was like, because as I told you guys before, my goal was to go to med school. I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. Like since I was 6 years old, I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. The reason why is because my granddad died of brain cancer when I was 6. So I was like, I wanted to figure out, you know, why he died, so no other little kids have to lose their grandparents the same age I did. So that's why I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. But I've also wanted to have a doctorate because as a kid, I had very, very poor self-esteem. My self-esteem was so trash. So trash. It was actually one of the reasons why I was so quiet too, because my self-esteem was just trash, to be honest. So I was like, I want to get the highest degree that I possibly can so I can feel important. And so other people can look at me like I'm important. And to be honest, that's one of the reasons why I still went to get my doctorate. Straight up. Not trying to appease 6-year-old Mike. I'm gonna go into it a little deeper because there's another video I got planned. So I'm like, I was in my feelings. I'm like, I'm not this. It's another thing I have to explain to people. It's like, no, that's not me. I don't do this. I don't do that. And granted, I am doing things that not a lot of people can do. Because, like, you know, my doctorate was 3 years. So, relatively not that long. I remember talking to people like, no, it's still not too late to go to med school. It's still not too late to go to med school. And I have to tell people I was physically getting sick trying to pass the prereqs. I don't think that clicked to people. Like, I was physically sick. Like, I could not concentrate. Like, I never threw up. I almost did. I didn't throw up though, but I was getting headaches. My nose would run. I would start all these like physical symptoms. Like I tried. I said I literally took pre-cal 3 times. I took trig twice, and the highest grade I was able to get was like a D plus. So I tried, and people were like, it's still not too late to go to med school. It's still not. If you really want to do it, it's still not too late to go to med school. I'm like, it's never too late to do anything. However, you know how long it took me to be physically, mentally, and emotionally okay to say that I didn't get into med school, or I couldn't even try to get into med school because I couldn't even pass the prereqs? It took me years and years and a lot of depression to say I am okay with not getting into med school. And to think that it's like, even now it's like, people are like, oh yeah, so you're a doctor. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what's some of your practice? I'm like, I'm not that kind of doctor. So it's still like, people like, it's still, even though it's not intentional, but for someone who was recovering from depression, I was never diagnosed with depression, but I have been very depressed to the point that I did not want to wake up a couple times. Straight up. I'm like, I've never tried to self-harm, thankfully, but I'm like, I don't feel like being awake. And I said it to myself many times, like, I just don't feel like being awake right now. So that thought still comes to my head. It's just like, bro. So it's like I had that, and then people were not giving me my stuff on time, so it's still that self-doubt. Because obviously, if it was med school, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be having that issue. People are like, oh, because good medical doctors, for obvious reasons, are held in a very, very high, pedestal for obvious reasons. Some of the things that some of these medical doctors can do is they're borderline miracles. And shit, like no wonder like some of these, some medical doctors have God complexes. Because like the things that they do are borderline miracles. So I'm like, I can understand the complex, like why you're thinking that way. You know what I mean? So like this makes sense. I understand the complex. Oh, you got parchment paper? Because I'm gonna try to make some patties. See if this is gonna do what I want it to do. I'm not sure, so I got some scissors. So but again, if I was in med school or if I was a PA or something like that, then I feel like I wouldn't have to explain to people everything that I do. When I became a health coach, like I said, people are like, oh, so what is that? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? And it's like, this is what I do. I'm a health coach. So I talk to people about their health issues, what's going on, and we kind of like figure out like small steps to improve their overall health and wellness. And it's like, oh, so you're a personal trainer? I'm like, no, I'm not a personal trainer. Technically, I am because I was certified as a personal trainer. I was certified for a number of years, to be honest. But then whenever I was actually certified, nobody wanted to train. Like, because I was going to train people easy. I'm like, hey, you want to work out? Let's work out. Let's do what we got to do. I'm going to put you through some stuff. You know what I mean? What is it? I was doing. Okay, that's what I was doing. Trying to figure out the weight. Oh, I got way more than that. I'm trying to figure out if I'm doing the raw weight because I have to convert that to what it's gonna look like. So I know how much I need cooked weight. So I was doing some math and I was like, okay, so if I need this much cooked weight, I think it's like 25% less than what it is raw because water and everything like that. So I'm trying to figure out what the raw weight is. But my scale is also to take the raw weight and divide it by 2. So that's what I'm coming with, like, all this mental gymnastics and stuff like that. So, but these can be some big old patties, though. I can tell you that much. But so that's my mind's been a little all over the place. Again, like I said, yesterday was a rough one. Again, I know people don't do it on purpose. It's just one of those things that gets to you. When you've fought depression for a long time, like I said, there are times I didn't want to be awake. There are times I couldn't look myself in the mirror. I couldn't look myself in the eye. Your boy's gone through it. I ain't even gonna front. I ain't gonna lie and say, "Oh, my life is all perfect and hunky dory." Da, 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 da. Like, nah. And do other people have it worse than me? Oh yeah, people have it way worse than me. I'm never gonna take that away from other people. Because some people's stories, I'm just like, bro, I'm glad you're here. You know, I've heard some things. So when I hear about other people's stories, I'm like, I'm glad that you're here. I can't say I know what that's like, but I know what my depression has been like. Never had anxiety, thank goodness, to a diagnosed level. Oh, wait a second. Let me show y'all this. Look at Patty. Look at Patty. This is a Michael-sized Patty right here. This is a Michael-sized Patty. This Patty means gains, bro. But yeah, like, I've never been diagnosed depressed or anything like that. Thank goodness. I've been able to work out my depression mostly. Again, it comes here and there. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna say that I'm perfect. I ain't gonna say that everything is all sunshine and rainbows, because it ain't. Like I said, like yesterday, I was in my feelings. I ain't even gonna front. I was in my feelings, bad, bro. And I'm just glad I was able to get out of it. Now, like I said, this is something I've been trying to work through. I'm like, am I okay saying that I'm not a medical doctor? I don't know anymore. Because when I was talking to my therapist, I was like, you know what? I'm going to be okay with not saying I'm a medical doctor. I'm going to be okay with not saying I'm a medical doctor. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because again, it comes. It's frequent. It is tough. It is annoying. It is stressful to explain constantly what my degrees are. Like what my degree is, what I do for work. And people be like, huh? Now, I know for a lot of people that's like, that ain't nothing. And again, this is just my story. Like, everyone's stories are different. This is just my story. You know what I mean? This is just Michael talking to y'all. But it's been annoying. It's been weird. It's been, wait a second, 98. That's weird. My scale read 98 and read 93, 92. I'm like, wait a second, this is weird. So let me make sure this is lined up right. Then maybe it has part of the beef patty on there. No. Okay, now it's saying 94. I actually needed 93.5 to get the doubled weight, but then taking 25% off is gonna be actually the cooked weight. So a lot of mental math I'm doing right now. My bad, y'all. But it's been, the best way I can put it is, it's actually been very annoying. And I don't know if I'm okay, you know, saying that I'm not a medical doctor. Does this mean I'm going to go back to school? No. Right, as of right now, as of me and my house, no. Because you know how much school I have to go for to do that? I have to finish up my prereqs. And then I actually have to, do the MCAT and actually get into a med school. So I am not saying at all that I'm applying for med school, because there's just too much between me and that. So I'm not even saying that at all. I'm like, and your boy is tired. Your boy needs to sit down. I'm like, physically tired. Like I'm okay. I can. Y'all know me. I can push. Your boy can push. Whether it's weight, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, your boy can push through some stuff. Because your boy has pushed through a lot of stuff. I ain't even gonna front. Your boy's pushed through a lot of stuff. And I am so glad that I am here. Because like I said, your boy has fought through some depression. And I still have some of those depressive thoughts every now and then. Not as much as I used to have, thank God. But I still have some of those depressive thoughts that come into my mind every now and then. Wait a second, why did it say 98? I have no clue. I'm not saying 99. I have no clue. I gotta figure this thing out. I'm just gonna cut another sheet because I had 3 pack. I gotta figure this thing out. Let me see if I can adjust this a little bit. No matter what, totally for the week, it's gonna be the same. Now it's saying 96. Now it's saying 99. Let me adjust this people one here. I'm just trying to figure this thing out. I'm just a dude trying to make my gains. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Now it's saying it's 103. I have no clue. I'm gonna take some off just in case. Okay, now it's saying it's 94. Okay, sure. Now it's saying it's 90. I guess I have to add a little more back to it. But yeah, I said yesterday was a day. I ain't gonna front. Yesterday was a day for your boy. That's close enough, sure. But yeah. I was just in my feelings a little bit yesterday. I'm like, you know what? Let me talk to you guys about some real issues that's going on right now. Because not everything's always gonna be sunshine and rainbows. There'll be times where you doubt yourself like crazy. You're like, why am I doing this? Why am I here? Am I doing the right thing? Because there were times during my doctoral program where I was like, you know what? I should have done like an IT cert instead. I haven't gotten paid this much money. I've been sitting pretty. I ain't got to worry about nothing. So there were times I was like, I should have just done an IT certification. This would have been easier. That would have been faster. I would have made more money. The whole thing. Didn't know anything about IT? Nope. So I've just been winging it, to be honest. But again, I know nothing about IT world or anything like that. I've been lost. And I know health, because I've been in healthcare for 17 years. So this is what I know. So I'm like, hey, let me just stick with what I know. What time is it? Alright, cool. So I'm like, let me just stick with what I know. I know healthcare. I'll stick with healthcare. So, but, as I said, the boy, yesterday was a day for your boy. And I was in my feelings. I ain't gonna front. That's one thing about me. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. If I'm saying something's easy, if I can do something, y'all can do something. If I can't do something, y'all probably can still do this something. Because I ain't the smartest person in the world. I've never claimed to be, and I will never claim to be. Because, yeah, I ain't the smartest person in the world. I'm just too stubborn to stop. The only time I stop is when there's some kind of physical boundary in front of me. I'm like I said, with school, doing my undergrad stuff, I was physically getting sick. I would literally have a pocket full of tissue with each math class I took. Every math class. And when it was a time for a test, forget about it. It was rough. OT school. Oh, speaking of, I went to church today, and I saw one of the dudes that was in one of high school classes. 'Cause I was in college, he was in high school. He has 2 other brothers who were talking. I saw him today. We haven't seen each other in forever. So saw him just chopping up a little bit. And he's actually graduating OT school the week after I graduate PT school. My doctor. I'm like, that's so dope. And come to find out that his older brother is actually a home health PT, and his oldest brother works in a cardiac lab. I think as a vascular tech. I'm like, that is so dope. You know what I mean? It's dope to see people you've known for years, see them killing it, and he's actually married. I'm like, that is so cool. So I'm really, really proud of Alistair, man. I'm really, really proud of him. That's the thing. I like to see my people, pushing the boundaries and just doing what they can do to get up in life. So I'm really, really proud of Alistair. He's done his thing. And the thing that's also interesting is that he's actually at the OT school that I went to. So it's kind of interesting, seeing someone who's actually going to be able to finish what I couldn't finish. And it makes me proud of him. But again, it's also one of those things that just like, I couldn't do it. So it's another one of those things that kind of just weighs on me a little bit. It's like, I wish I could have, And interesting thing is because we were talking about school, and he actually faced something similar like I did, because he was at a different school, and something happened first semester. He had to stay back the second semester. Something happened. They had to withdraw. Then he went to a different OT school, started over, doing his thing, rocking it. He's graduating. I'm like, that is so dope. So like I said, I like to see people push, but I'm not sure if it's bitterness, jealousy, depression, what it is. I'm just like, that could have been me. When I see, all my friends that actually, got into med school, rocking it. Dr. Dwyer, I see you killing it, lady. I forgot what year after graduation she is. Dr. Murray, I see you, my brother. Killing it. You're one of the reasons why I applied to grad school again. Killing it. My dude Abdullah, I see you, bro. He's going into his second year of med school. I'm super, super proud of him. I remember when he got his 2 acceptance letters, I was like, man, I am so, so proud of you, man. My ladies know she's studying for the MCAT. I'm super, super proud of her. It's like, I wish it was me. He said, I am going to find, I wish it was me. I wish that, and not everyone knows what DHSC is, but everyone knows what MD is. And to constantly explain, oh, yes, my doctor is in healthcare. Yes, I do work in a hospital, but I'm not a medical doctor. When I have to explain that to literally everybody that I meet, it gets annoying. It gets tiring. And it gets me in my feelings a little bit. Maybe because I'm not using the degree yet. Now, granted, I just graduated. I'm not sure if that's why I'm in my feelings a little bit, or what it is. And I know people are proud of me. But again, I could have easily said, I'm done. I'm not going to try again. I'm not even going to pay attention to it. Easily, I could have easily just like, nah. I'm good. I'm not even going to try for my doctorate again because, no. But I am proud of me for pushing. I am proud of me for not taking no for an answer. I am proud of me for, giving myself one more chance at a dream I've had since I was 6 years old. Or at least a version of a dream I've had since I was 6 years old. I am proud of me for that. But I ain't gonna lie and say that I don't get depressed thinking about what could have been. I ain't gonna lie. Why lie? It's me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie about that. And it sucks. It really sucks. Can I go back from med school? Yes, I can go back from med school. Is it too late? As long as you're above ground, it's never too late. Is it too late for me? I don't know. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what would make me be able to breathe and say, okay, without having the depression of the what if. Because one thing to think about the what if is another thing to get into that depressive state about the what if that makes sense. Because if you've been in that, well, this could, what I'm talking about. And again, this is, like I said, this is a version of the goal I've been wanting for 29 years. But something still nags me saying, yeah, but you ain't got an MD behind your name. It sucks. It really, really sucks. I don't know, y'all. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I said I'm just a dude trying to figure out my life. You know, am I happy with where I am in life? Maybe. I don't know. Have I done a lot of things in my life? Yeah, I've done a lot of things in my life. I'm like, everything's taking a little longer for your boy. Things taking a lot longer for your boy. But look at it. I got my doctorate degree. I don't have a hard copy yet. It should be coming in the mail this week or next week. I'm graduating in like 3 weeks. I know a lot of people who have been successful in grad school who are pushing themselves, who are that last step, And the thing is, I've been following some doctors, some different doctors and different pages on Facebook. Yeah, I'm still on Facebook, on Facebook, on IG. I think his name is Dr. Iggy. I think his name is black dude. I think he's a ortho surgeon. So no, young black dude. And he's about to graduate for the last time. He's finished up his residency, and I've never met the dude, but I'm like, that is dope. It is really, really dope to see that. So I'm like, that's where my boy Jones is gonna be in a couple of years. Finishing up, residency and just starting his own thing. I'm like, that's so dope. I've been following Dr. Webb for a minute. He's another orthopedic spine surgeon, which is interesting because when I look into I do a lot of research about random things. I look into random things. I like information. Information is very interesting to me. There are 2 routes to go to be a spine surgeon. You can go the ortho route or the neuro route. So it's very interesting. And he went the ortho route. So obviously never met the man, but he watching his stuff and watching his journey, so I'm like, that is really, really dope. That is really, really dope. There's another page I follow is called Black Men in White Coats, and that's actually, that's way too much. Yeah, I'm still measuring my ground turkey. I was about to say something different, but that would sound really, really weird. So I ain't gonna say it. Y'all pray for me. Y'all pray for me. I ain't got no kind of common sense. But there's a channel called Black Men in White Coats that I've been following for a while. I found them on YouTube first, and I started following them on Facebook not too long ago. But their big thing is trying to get more people into black people into medicine and things like that, because there's not enough representation in clinical medicine. I'll put it that way, in clinical medicine, because you do see a lot of black people in housekeeping and things like that. However, you don't see a lot of people on the clinical side. Thankfully, you are seeing a lot more black nurses, which is amazing to see. But clinical, like medical doctors, therapists, things like that. You don't see a lot of black people, to be honest. And particularly males, because in certain fields you don't see a lot of males, because you don't see a lot of male nurses. Thankfully, we are starting. Male nurses are starting to pop up a little more. You don't see a lot of male OTs, let alone black male OTs. That's a rarity. So my boy Alistair, he's gonna be a black male OT. So super proud of him. The representation, it does matter. So for people who think that representation doesn't matter, it's because you're privileged enough to not have it matter. There's a difference. So things like that. What's his name? Dr. Blade, I think it is. He's actually a physical medicine and rehab doctor. I've been following him for a little bit, watching his stuff. I'm like, that's really cool. And I was like, because the thing that was interesting to that, and I was like, what's the difference between physical medicine and rehab versus a PT? That's something I'm still trying to understand a little bit. But it's more, they're like more the medical doctor side of rehab compared to the therapist. It's interesting, but obviously they can still do treatments and things like that. So it's kind of interesting. So that's something I've been trying to figure out. But I've been following him for a little bit, and again, I like to see people reach their goals. And I reached a version of my goal, but I haven't reached the goal. And there's a difference. And you know, people are like, oh, shoot for the moon. If you fail, you land in the stars and blah blah blah, which makes no sense because the stars are further than the moon. But I digress. It just kind of stinks that you had a goal for yourself and you reach a version of it, but not the goal. It just weighs on you every now and then. Every now and then, it just pops up. Am I okay? I think I'm okay. Am I still annoyed? I'm annoyed. Will I be alright? I ain't got no choice but to be alright. It's me. I'm too stubborn not to be alright. But yeah, this video went way too long. Like, I had no clue how long I was gonna do it, but we're over 40 minutes right now. So I appreciate you guys for sticking around and listening to me ramble for a good 40 minutes while I'm sitting here messing with this turkey. Again, I was gonna say something different, but that's gonna sound really, really weird. And I ain't trying to get demonetized. You know, I ain't monetized yet. One day. But I ain't trying to cross no boundaries or anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish making my patties. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 patties made already. Who knows how much I'm gonna be able to make with this? Probably a good, at least 4, probably 5 more. We'll see what happens. But until next time, later.